Hi there, how you doing? Hey, welcome back to Built Not Bought by Bruce. Getting things together here on the Sportster, doing the trial run as I've mentioned before. Got looking at this really cool chrome sprocket and the chrome chain that goes with it. Got the chain all cleaned up, it's in great shape, so I'm going to be able to reuse that piece. Looking at this sprocket, again, it's in great shape. There's a little bit of wear on the chrome on the teeth, but that's to be expected. There's certainly not enough wear to be concerned about changing the sprocket or anything. But the one thing I looked at is this beautiful shiny chrome sprocket and these ugly, I don't think they're even CAD plated fasteners. They're just not very nice. So I ordered up from our friends at Lowbrow colony machine kit for this sprocket, for this application. So I checked out the sizing, took one of these bolts out, measured it up, made sure I had the right kit here because this thing is not stock, obviously, or standard anyway. You know, they're all, most of it's Harley pieces, but just don't know where they came from necessarily. When I took this out, I realized I needed to do some cleanup. Not only replace the fastener, but this one's got some corrosion, not quite sure why. And based on the tightness of it, I'm thinking that there's some kind of thread locker in this area up at the top here, but mainly just corrosion. So I figured I'd clean this up. I want to make sure that the new ones are torqued properly and that they hold well. I'm going to check and see if thread locker is recommended on these or if just proper torquing will do the trick. So I'll check that out before I install the new stuff. The other thing I wanted to talk about though, and I think I've mentioned this before, and I just can't say it often enough. For novice builders, you know, guys who are just getting into this, or maybe have been at it for a while, nobody's ever told you. I was reading the climber manual I have for this the other day, working on some of the front end parts, and I was a little bit surprised that the manual says, clean the threads out with a tap. And man, I just think that's really the wrong thing to do. Taps, threading taps, always take more material. That's what they're designed to do. They cut, they've got cutting edges. And with an existing thread, if you put a little pressure on there, you know, if things aren't quite right, you're gonna go in, you're gonna take a little more material off of those threads. Now, when you go to put it together, it's not going to hold torque properly. You're going to think, geez, this fastener feels loose. It's, you know, it's just not right. You can goop it up with thread locker and it'll probably hold. You can make it work, but it's not really the thing to do. So I'm a big fan of rethreading sets. And this is, sorry, let me take the packing material out of the way. So this is the one I have. I've been using this for ages. Love this tool. It's just really the way to go. The gold ones, the gold taps and dies are all metric. The black ones are National Fine, and the silver ones are National Coarse. So you've got pretty much everything you need here. In this case, I believe these are 7/16, yeah, 7/16 National Coarse. So before I install the new kit, I'm going to take my rethreading tap and I'm going to run it through here, clean those threads out real good. Then depending on what the installation calls for, if they do recommend thread locker, I'll use that. If not, based on the corrosion I'm seeing in here, I may use some anti-seize in there and just make sure that I have the torque spec correct on it. The anti-seize or what else do they call that stuff? Anyway, the anti-seize will keep it from rusting. It'll make sure that the fastener can come loose. I had a heck of a time getting that one to break loose. So I want to make sure that, that this thing lives a long time. If you look at a rethreading tap, and you can tell right away the material is not like a threading tap, like a new for cutting new threads. They're hardened material. They have a much different finish. They just feel different. You can tell that they are a different type of material. This is softer. It's not meant to cut material. The edges and the way this is shaped and the grooves in it and everything, it's meant to clean out anything that's in there, and any damaged threads, these will actually push the original material back to shape. Obviously it's not computer controlled, it doesn't have a brain or anything, it can't figure everything out, but in general it's going to tend to want to push those threads back into shape. So going to get this all set. I'm going to do them individually. I'll get this first one ready. I'm just going to check and see what's recommended for thread locker. I'll run the video while I'm doing this, and I'm going to get this new kit in, and then we'll see, compared to what it started out as, what it looks like in the end. Okay. Okay, to wrap this up, I was able to put the nice new chrome fasteners on the sprocket here. I did check, and sure enough, they do recommend thread locker. I went with Loctite blue, medium strength. There you go. So I went with the thread locker, looked up the torque, my climber manual, and I confirmed online as well. 55 to 65 foot-pounds for those bolts. You know what, I went with 55. 65 starting to get, to me, starting to get pretty torquey, pretty heavy. So I went with 55, got there in 3 steps. For what it's worth, I use a Gearwrench digital torque wrench. Really like this tool, works really, really well. Very, very similar to a major, how would I put that? A brand of automotive tools that is definitely a quality tool. However, the price sometimes deters, especially hobbyists. I found the Gearwrench way more reasonably priced. Features are virtually identical. Digital torque wrench, like I said, works really well. The Sprocket is on, the chrome hardware is on, looks a lot better. You can maybe see here too, and I can put a still picture in. My pipe nuts are working out. I think that's going to be a real good look. We got the sissy bar and stuff to go on at some point here too. But right now I'm really digging the way this is looking back here. Sprocket's done. We'll turn our attention to the front end, and we'll have another video for you soon. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And hey, if you think of it, hit the subscribe button. I'd appreciate that too. All right, we'll see you soon.